Noob D&D Dad here, and we have started session 0. It's going to be multiple session zeros of my little kid D&D campaign. So I'm already the DM for a group of Army veterans and a DM for my 8-year-old son and my friend and a cousin. And now I'm going to be DM for a group of little kids. My son, 8-year-old, 5-year-old daughter, 3-year-old daughter, and then this little guy once he's old enough. So I'm trying to simplify the rules that I am myself still learning down for little kids. Now, I know there's other RPGs out there that are for little kids, but my whole thing is we want to play D&D and we want to simplify the D&D rules. So I'm going to just kind of go over what we have going so far. So I drew these a while ago because I want this to kind of be their adventure area, because I drew this big castle because this will be like the princess castle where things originate from. Then there's like an inn at the crossroads and like a scary forest and some sand dunes. There's a little sea monster in there. All right, this is one of the players here. She's going to be a... Do you remember what your character is?
Yeah.
Dragonborn. Dragonborn fighter is what she's going to be. So this is the area where we're going to play. And so there's like mysterious mountains and a scary castle. There's a big blank area. It could be something fancy over there. There's some kind of like creepy building on an island. So the point is that there's lots of places for the kids to adventure. So I'm still kind of like writing the story, but I think most of it will be them kind of just exploring and being do-gooders in the kingdom. And I'm thinking there might be like a sick king and queen that they have to go fetch some like white lotus for.
That's our baby.
Or something. So there might be some fetch quests. They might have to go meet some people. But the point is for them to experience the 3 things, right? Which is the social interaction, the exploration, and the combat. All right, so making characters, I tried to make it a lot simpler, but I realized it is going to be the most complex part. So I did cut out a lot of the rules of making characters, but we still need to kind of have the meat of it so that we can have something to play with. So 5-year-old, hey, why are you yelling? 5-year-old is going to be what's your character's race?
Tiefling.
Tiefling, and what's your class?
Monk.
Monk. And what does a monk do?
A monk fights with kung fu.
Kung fu, yeah. Okay, and then him, we're not making a character for him yet, but we do have his sheet printed out. This one, 3-year-old, is going to be a dragonborn fighter. Huh? And then the 8-year-old is also going to be a dragonborn fighter. So the 3-year-old definitely is copying him. Okay, so we rolled for gold, and the 2 fighters got a lot more gold. They got 140 and 150.
Yeah,
How much gold did you get?
I got 13 gold. So I gotta bring binoculars, a pet cat, and I'm also gotta bring a camera to take pictures of stuff. So in the nature. So come on, Daddy, your turn.
Okay, so the next step is we need to pick what items they're going to bring, and we're just going to go out of the book of what items. And so it sounds like she might want to bring a pet cat, so maybe we're going to bring a cat on the adventure too.
Peekaboo.
But this is also a lot of what happens while we're trying to get set up. So my wife thinks I need to simplify the rules even more. So I tried simplifying the rules by removing proficiency bonus. I know that's going to explode some people's brains, but it's just I'm trying to remove as much math as possible. And so if you have a skill that you're proficient in, you're just going to have advantage. And people could argue that rolling 2 dice and picking 1 is just as complicated as adding it all together, but I don't think so. So I'm trying to just reduce rules basically. And my overarching theme, because obviously my rules for simple kid D&D are going to change as we play, but the overall simple theme is, like people say, the rule of cool with D&D. We're going to have the rule of simple. So if we encounter a situation and like we can do it one way or another, we're going to lean towards the simple way and just emphasize the kids playing and making decisions. All right, so in the player's handbook, it talks about how if you want to just make a quick build, that you can use already set dice, like for your 6 attributes, or whatever they're called. So I was going to have the kids roll, where they were all going to roll 4 dice and pick the 3 highest, and then do that 7 times and pick the 6 highest. But I passed out the dice, and 2 seconds after I passed out all the d6s, like half of them were bouncing across the floor. So I was like, okay, so I have to do this myself. So what I did is I picked the standard rolls, which is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. But I decided we weren't going to have a minus because that would be stupid. So then we just assigned them to where we wanted them and then changed them based on their race bonuses. So I'm talking about page 13 in the player's handbook, where they're making where you're building Bruenor, the example character, and then it says if you don't want to randomly determine, just use this. And like I said, I dropped the 8 off because I didn't want to have a minus for the kids. Also, for leveling up, normally there's only certain levels that you hit where you can add to their stats, and I decided that every time they level up, and again, this can change, every time they level up, they can do the thing where you can add 1 point to 2 different of these things, ability scores, or 2 points to one of them, and that they can go up to 30. So I think maybe that'll balance out not having the proficiency bonus. So people will be like, why are you doing that? But I think it's more simple. Also, as far as a short or long rest goes, it's just going to be rest, and it's going to have all the same benefits as a long rest. So again, we're talking 8-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and potentially an almost 2-year-old. So just rest will be fine. And so as far as the hit dice go, the only reason I have hit dice on here is for leveling up. So they'll still add hit points using their hit dice, but we're not gonna do anything with hit dice other than just, oh, you're a D10. Okay, that's how we add hit points to your hit point max when you level up. Yeah, and this totally already had soup spilled on it, so I'm gonna rewrite it. We're probably gonna laminate these and write on them with army map pens. So instead of a proficiency bonus, they have their normal bonus from their attribute. But if they have proficiency in that skill, I'm just going to give them advantage on that. So yeah, that's what I mean by that. Okay, so just kind of going over some more of the rules that I've simplified. There's not going to be any alignments. They're just going to be themselves playing how they want to play. Not going to deal with that. Skills. Yeah, they're going to have advantage instead of a proficiency bonus. The kids can, if they want to get in, like, for example, for the fighter, we have to pick a fighting style. But for my 3-year-old, I'm just going to pick it. But for my 8-year-old, he's going to pick it. As far as magic goes, I think it's just you get two spells per day, and then you can do cantrips, something like that. And then the spells that you know would still be the ones that your character can know at that point. People aren't going to have to identify magic items. They'll just know what they are. I think I'll still have that you can only use 3 at a time and you don't have to attune to them. I'm also removing the proficiency bonus from monsters, so that shouldn't be too hard to do, looking at their stat block. We're not going to do feats at all. And the way that I have leveling up set so far, and I don't know if this is good because I'm like, I don't know if I want to do XP because I don't want to track that. And I don't really want to do, milestone leveling because I don't really have quests. But they are going to have quests because I'm going to give them quests. But what I have it right now is number of sessions. So I just made this little chart. So at the end of the second session, they'll go to level 2. And then it takes 2 sessions all the way up till that level. And then so on and so forth. Between level 19 and 20 takes 5 sessions. So it's a ton of sessions to level up. Our sessions may only be 30 minutes. So I don't know how that's going to work so far because the idea is for all the kids to be there, so even the 2-year-old. So we might only play for 30 minutes. So if you have a different way to level for super young kids, let me know. But as of right now, I'm just doing sessions because then they can just wander around and do what they want. And I will be giving them quests. Now that the kids aren't listening, I can tell you some spoilers of the quest. But I was thinking that the king and queen of the castle will be sick and they need a special like lotus flower, that they have to meet someone at the inn that I showed you on the map, and then that person something, and then maybe that person's been kidnapped, right? Anyway, so this is going to be a little bit of fetch quests and meet this person and that, but and then when eventually they'll get back and heal the king and queen, then I think maybe they might go on a quest to start their own garden of lotus flowers, so that other people that have that same sickness don't have to go all the way on this huge crazy quest just to get it, right? So they'll be helping everybody at that point. So and then of course they'll just be fighting people along the way. But that's what I have so far for like the questing. I think they like the idea of helping people, and since they're so young, and a lot of the bedtime stories I would tell them would involve the king and queen, right? And that's usually like mom and dad. And so the kids are going out on quests for them. So if you're using a weapon that you're not proficient with, I'm just going to have it give you disadvantage. I mean, maybe that's super harsh, but it is trying to get the kids to just use the weapons that their characters use. And then there's not the proficiency bonus. And I do want to use the rule of cool, the rule of simple, and I think I want to add something else, which is the rule of fun. So the point is for these kids all to have fun. They see me playing with our older son and with my friend, and I think they often gather around the table and start rolling dice. And so I think the fact that they're going to have their own characters and they're going to be making their own decisions, I think is going to be really fun. They seemed really engaged with the character making, even though I was making it a little too complicated, said my wife. But yeah, I'm having a feeling that they're really going to like it. And of course their character sheets, like I just filled them out. And I think we're going to laminate them, and then I'm going to use army map pens to write on them that have to be alcohol erased. Because, like I said, we already spilled soup on one of them, so I'm going to have to rewrite it. So I think that'll probably be the best because they're little kids, and otherwise I think they would just get destroyed. So I'm super excited. So maybe this is too much. So I'm technically going to be DMing for 3 groups. The Army Veterans group, my son, my friend, and the cousin, and then this group of my kids. The idea of DMing this one is that they can do it at home and they don't have to wait for anyone else to show up. Now, I did tell my friend that he could be a reoccurring NPC and just be like if he's ever there with us, then he can be just the random NPCs that they encounter. Or my wife can also control those random NPCs. But I'm excited. So this is going to be me DMing my third campaign. So let me know what you think. I love advice, especially on simplifying it. Again, I know that there's other RPGs that are more kid-friendly. I know that. But I'm having fun with D&D. My 2 groups are having fun with D&D. And the kids want to play Dungeons and Dragons. They want to play it. Also, I think it would help me to be a better DM by digging into the rules in order to simplify them. So that's why D&D. So I do love the suggestions of other RPGs, and we can look at that. But if you have D&D suggestions, I absolutely love hearing that. So thank you. And stay tuned if you want to see how DMing goes for 3 groups. I don't know. Maybe there's a breaking point, but I'm having fun and everyone else seems to be having fun. So anyway, thank you. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone and make sure and tell your mom. Okay. Thanks. Bye.